My name is Joe Saul. I'm an adoptee, a psychotherapist, and the author of Adoption Healing, A Path to Recovery.
PTSD. In layman's terms, what is it and how does it relate to adoption? PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, occurs after you've seen or experienced a traumatic event that involved the threat of severe injury or death. The loss of a mother or child is a severe trauma causing PTSD. When a mother and child are separated by adoption, they both experience the death of their other. The only difference between the experience of losing a mother or child to death or kidnapping or adoption is the way you are treated. Mommy is here, mommy is gone. Baby is here, baby is gone. That's a death. That is a trauma. If there is a real death, one is usually treated with respect. When it comes to a psychological death as an adoption loss, one rarely gets treated with respect. In the words of Anna Freud, the horrors of war pale beside the loss of a mother. I think that holds true for the loss of a baby. So our adoption losses are a trauma of the highest order, causing PTSD. PTSD changes the body's response to stress. It affects the stress hormones and the chemicals that carry information between the nerves. Our adoption loss symptoms of PTSD fall into three main categories. The first is reliving, or fear of reliving the event, which upsets our day-to-day living. This means constant fear of abandonment, which can be an unconscious fear. Background sadness and despair, panic attacks, interpersonal relationship difficulties, lack of self-worth. The above means flashback episodes where the event seems to be happening again and again. Repeated upsetting memories of the event, repeated nightmares of the event, self-blame or guilt for the traumatic event, strong, uncomfortable reactions to situations that remind you of the event. Second category is avoidance, emotional numbing or feeling as though you don't care about anything, feeling detached, difficulty trusting others. For the moms, being unable to remember important aspects of the trauma. Having a lack of interest in normal activities, showing and being less aware of your moods, avoiding places, people, or thoughts that remind you of the event, thinking you are doomed and have no future. The third category is arousal, which means difficulty concentrating, startling easily, having an exaggerated response to things that do startle you, being more aware of what's going on around you, meaning being on the alert for danger, feeling irritable or having outbursts of anger, having trouble falling or staying asleep. You might feel guilt about the event. You might also have some of the following symptoms which are typical of anxiety, stress, and tension: agitation or excitability, dizziness, fainting, feeling your heart beating in your chest, headaches. What can we do to heal? My preferred method of doing this work is to work with our inner child. We need to recognize that losing one's mother or child at birth cannot happen again because we are adults. We need to explain this to our inner child until he or she believes it. We need to grieve the loss of our other just as we would grieve a real death. We need to talk about our trauma as much as we can at our own pace with those with whom we feel comfortable. We need to respect our fears. Doing this work is usually terrifying, yet the more we do it, the less we will be terrified. It's like dipping your toe in the water bit by bit, getting used to the pain, anger, and sadness while knowing it can't happen again. We must not watch the clock while doing this work. Our healing is like climbing a mountain of recovery. Each person's path up their mountain is windy and full of dips and gullies and crevices that must be traversed to get to the top, and get to the top we will. Keeping in mind that we survived our trauma without support or help as young people, and if we could do that alone, We can surely survive the healing with the caring support of those around us as adults. We can do this as long as we do not give up. We can, and we will heal. Injuries caused by the separation of mother and child can, in time and with work, be dealt with effectively to the point where the loss will not interfere daily in our lives. Instead, the pain might rear its head a few times a year. We may need to cry and get a hug, perhaps vent a little bit, but the pain will pass more quickly each time. In the words of Anaïs Nin, and the day came when the risk to remain closed in the bud became more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Let us blossom.